You guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm here. Okay, can you guys hear me? Drop a comment down in the chat. We had a little bit of a interruption. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, we can go ahead and continue. Because we were talking about, there you go. Hey Deb. Sorry about that. Oh my God. I got kicked out. And we were right in the middle of a good discussion with everybody. So I'm glad you can hear me. We were talking about Jasmina and Michael. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I was hoping they were gonna work. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to. Unless they make a change somewhere down the line. You know. But what do you think? No worries, I can relate to technical difficulties on YouTube. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm just hoping everybody else got the notification and come over here. That's the thing, because I did see some folks in the other chat, but I was trying to make sure I got back up again. Um, over here so we didn't, we can keep going. So we can keep going. Okay. Well, let's keep going. I guess hopefully they'll see us and come on over. Um all right. Let's move on cuz I know it's getting pretty late too. We got Lindsay and Mark. So, I didn't know what to expect with these two. I really didn't. Um I actually was wondering if they were going to implode because Lindsay started off kind of crazy. Lindsay was the one that was drinking and on her honeymoon and taking off her shirt and everything. She stretched out on the bench on not on honeymoon at the wedding. I did not know what to expect of Lindsay. And Mark, remember this is his second time applying for Married at First Sight. So he actually, of course, got in on on this season, but their energy. I was trying to figure out who was going to balance out the other because Mark is definitely full of energy. Mark the shark needs to find a storage unit. Oh my God, why you say that? He probably does because I mean, first of all, he got the issue with moving his mother figure, aka his landlord, is kicking him out. So, and he got bed bugs, and he got them cats in the house. And so she trying to change his lease. What was so crazy to me is the fact that the landlord was blowing up their phone on a honeymoon. I'm like, are you serious right now? That's crazy. She was going to hold his stuff hostage if he, man, Debbie, I'm telling you, probably so. Probably so. Knowing Lindsay, if he decides to leave, she would most definitely hold him hostage. Most definitely. You know what? The thing is, though, I think that when the experts matched them, they actually didn't do so bad of a job with these two. Now, do I think it can turn toxic? Possibly. But if they kind of balance themselves out, they could work. She's just off the chart. She's whatever she thinks what how they say, what comes up comes out. She said whatever's on her mind with no filter. And Mark is looking at her like, what did I marry? But he seems to like it though, because they consummated their marriage several times on the honeymoon. So there was no doubt with these two that they consummated their marriage. Mark eyes is looking to say, help me. It does, doesn't it? He be freaked out. Like, oh my God, what the heck did I get myself into? Lindsay, though, okay, so let's talk about something that happened, excuse me, a couple weeks ago. This whole thing between her and Katina and Olajuwon. Do any of you guys watch the Married at First Sight after party? Let me know if any of you guys watched that. Because production didn't give us the full story in the episode. So production only gave camera time to Lindsay saying, "Oh, he was pushing his chest out at me and I was uncomfortable." And so a lot of people were saying that she had Karenish, and I won't say Karenish behavior. And then we see the scene on the bus where Olajuwon is talking about how Lindsay wanted them to speak Spanish in Puerto Rico. So the after party definitely gave us a whole lot of insight because Katina broke it down. Katina was like, and I think and actually Alyssa co-signed everything that was going on, but there's a little problem between the two of them. Alyssa and Lindsay don't like each other. That was definitely evident at the bachelor party or the bachelorette party. But this whole thing on the after party about Katina, Olajuwon, and her, that was just one issue with the whole speak Spanish in Puerto Rico. The other thing is that Lindsay was actually talking about his shoes, telling him she wanted to fight him. She sat behind Olajuwon and Katina on the plane, and she was still antagonizing him. She wouldn't put on her mask. She was up acting, real unruly on the plane, that even the actual airline staff had to get her to calm down. So they didn't tell us the whole story in that episode. They only gave us Lindsay's side of the story, and then this whole speak Spanish in Puerto Rico conversation that Olajuwon had on the bus, which kind of made me look kind of side eye at production, because I'm like, why wouldn't you give us the whole story? She made it look like it was all on him when she instigated everything. Even her own husband said that she was the problem in that situation. That speaks volumes when the husband is saying this. And he even said on the after party, this is not what I want in a wife. Your behavior is not something that I want in a wife. So when you got your own husband saying, yeah, you started this, don't try to make it look like Katina and Olajuwon was the problem. She started it. So for those that didn't watch the after party, I did a it's actually a video on my channel where I did a review of the after party on that episode. There was actually two episodes of the after party that addressed that whole thing of Lindsay's behavior in regards to why Katina is so upset with her. Can production film on the plane or in the airport? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe they couldn't. I don't know. But I guess I'm just glad that on the after party the whole story came out, and even Mark, because usually if it's one party and the other party, it's like my word against yours, that type of thing. But because of the fact that her own husband, he could have just stayed out of it if he chose to, but he didn't. He spoke up and said, no, it was Lindsay. I told her I don't want that behavior in a wife. So, you know, if not, then that's why we don't have that footage. Then that's probably true. If they cannot film on the plane or in the airport, then maybe that's why we don't. But, and that's fine. That's cool. I'm just glad that we did get more insight on the after party. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So now, what do you guys think about the honeymoon with Lindsay? Lindsay seemed to be having a good time, but they did have a moment where Mark said he wanted to pull back, and they had been having sex throughout the day with each other, and he has been real open about going to the bathroom around her and passing gas around her and all this other stuff she was talking about. And she was like, wait a minute, you want to pull back? Okay. So of course that pissed her off. But then they turn around the next day, obviously, who knows what happened after that whole incident. What did it say? Lindsay is reckless with her mouth. Absolutely. What comes up comes out. She sure is. And that's why, you know, I wonder have, and maybe we won't see that, but I'm wondering, has Alyssa and Lindsay went head to head somewhere on this honeymoon? We just haven't seen it because I have a feeling that if Alyssa say something sideways to Lindsay, Lindsay would definitely go off because I don't know. Oh, I did watch the after party from this past Wednesday. And she did say that when Alyssa was like, "Don't do that when I'm talking," and she started eating strawberries, say, "I ain't do nothing." She said she was squeezing Mark's hand under the table to control herself. And she did say that Mark gave her a compliment to say, "Hey, sometimes I'm glad you, kind of turned it down and tuned it out." You guys gotta watch this after party. I mean, Jamie did her thing on Unfiltered, but this after party, they really dropped tea. A lot of times we didn't get that type of tea and candid details on Unfiltered, but on the after party, oh my gosh, we get all of it. And so, she said that she was squeezing Mark's hand. She was trying her best, and Mark was squeezing her hand under that table to keep her from going off on Alyssa when Alyssa told her, "Don't be don't be doing that when I'm talking." I'm like, Alyssa, Lindsay is the least of your worries right now. Seriously. But I don't know. I honestly think in regards to their relationship, I think that they have what it takes to go far. She definitely is playing mama bear because with this whole situation with his house and these bed bugs, these cats, his lease, the landlord, she's taking over. You gonna go get your stuff. You gonna go get them cats. I'm like, hold on. Before you bring that stuff in your house, Lindsay, or to the apartment, y'all need to shake his stuff out, clean it, exterminate it, because you're gonna bring bed bugs to your house. So hopefully you got a plan for that. But um, in this situation, she's definitely trying to play mama bear wife role with making sure that everything is okay with the situation that Mark is going through with his landlord. So honestly, I mean, if she kind of bring it down a notch, I think they would be okay. You know, even her own brother and her father said the same thing. If you can kind of, get her to mellow out, which is going to be tough because Lindsay is who Lindsay is. But if you can get her to mellow out, I think she'll be fine. Those two. What do you guys think? I'll keep going. I'll catch your comments in the comment section. So we've talked about Stephen Noy. We talked about Yasmina and Michael. We've talked about Lindsay and, of course, Mark. Let's go to this couple. This is Olajuwon. A lot of people say Olajuwon, and Katina. Now, how Olajuwon was presented to this season, ex Playboy, and the whole thing with his alter ego being I forget what this is, alter ego. um oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? It's probably because it's getting late. But they really portrayed him out the gate where everybody just does. There's a lot of fans that didn't start out liking him. His energy, he's a very passionate person. And again, he did speak on at the wedding of him having ADHD being managed by medication. So that definitely explains, why he speaks the way he does, how fast he speaks, moving from one thought to the other, stuff like that. But doesn't it seem like Katina is definitely Isaac? There you go. Now, a lot of people, and I don't know if you guys know this, a lot of people thought he just made that name up. Actually, Isaac is his middle name. And when I found that out, that's on his legal documents that his name is Olajuwon Isaac Dickerson. I'm like, oh, so all he did was use his middle name. I thought he made up this alter ego that was a fake name, because that's what a lot of people were thinking, that, oh, he's out there giving all kind of fake aliases and stuff like that. Isaac is his middle name, guys. I found that out a week ago. So, and I did put that information, like I said, you guys got to follow me on my IG. I try as much as I post over here for the recap of the video after it's over. I'm usually posting daily throughout the day when I come across different reels, videos, old stuff about the cast members. I have a video of Olajuwon from 2000, I think 2010, 2009. He actually had long hair at the time. So, I mean, what we saw is what he got on top. This man actually had very long hair at the time and actually had a ponytail. So go over there and check out that video. I found that and posted it on my IG account. So um, I usually try to keep up with stuff that goes on with the cast members. Debbie says it makes sense to use your middle name for your alter ego because it's easy to remember. That's true. That's true. But I guess production made it look like that this was just some name that he used to use as an alias to keep girls from knowing who he really was, when technically it was just his middle name. You know, production is interesting sometimes, and I have to get on the side eye sometimes. They be making things like this whole narrative that we talked about with Steve and his employment. They want to make him look like the guy with no job, when technically this guy probably has money and he does freelance work. And like we said on the other live before we got cut off, was that job that he's in make 300 to 400K a year. So, I guess they got to come up with a storyline, but it's like, yeah, but now you got the fans giving these cast members side eyes when technically they shouldn't. Debbie says he's getting the villain edit. Absolutely. Yeah, but Alyssa took that one away from him. Alyssa said, okay, you could give Olajuwon the villain edit, but I'll take it instead. Hey, Danelle, how are you? They said Isaac was his middle name in the pre-wedding show. Okay, cool. Well, a lot of people must have missed it because a lot of people thought otherwise. That's why when I actually found it out, I wanted to make sure I put it out there like, guys, that's his middle name. So you're absolutely right, Danielle. And welcome. You was we are this is the second live because the first one got disconnected. Sometimes YouTube and the powers that be we get cut off. You know how technology is supposed to help us, right? I'm glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. We did Married at First Sight Australia in the first half of the show, so I don't know if you watched the Australia version, but we did the Australia version first, and now we're on the US version. So welcome, welcome, welcome. But I'm rooting for this couple. I see. Listen, now there's an issue that everybody's having with Olajuwon pushing Katina. Here's my thing with Katina has boundaries. She know when to tell Olajuwon you're doing too much. Stop. And the fact that he respects those boundaries and he likes the fact that she set boundaries, he actually enjoys that. But the question is, how long is Olajuwon going to continue to do that? You can only push people's boundaries so long until they like, I can't do this with you no more. So at what point is she's going to say, look, I'm not going to continue to put up with you, you know, pushing every single time. And then I got to tell you to stop every single time. And you enjoy watching me put boundaries up. I mean, at what point is Olajuwon going to be like, okay, I'm going to stop doing, I'm just going to let her be and we'll just take it as it come and be in the moment with each other instead of saying, okay, let me see what she'll do if I do this. And let me see what she'll do if I do that. That gets tiring. So hopefully he'll stop doing that. Everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. Shanice. Hey, Shanice, how are you? Welcome. Did they consummate their marriage because they were extra cuddly this week? You know what? We were asking the same thing about Noy and Steve, and one of the members in the chat room had actually said that they just haven't been open about it. I'm thinking, and I don't know for sure, but I honestly think that Olajuwon and Katina has definitely consummated their marriage. Now I know they would do. I know he was having problems with cuddling and stuff like that, but I think they got over that real quick. Um, and then he set up that whole rose petal romantic thing before they left for the honeymoon. I have a feeling they did. Hey Archie, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I acknowledge you. Hey, hey, hey. Um, I honestly think they did consummate the marriage. I don't know for a fact, so don't quote me on that. But it seems that they're really comfortable with each other. Besides the whole boundaries thing, and she's definitely into him. He's definitely into her. So I would assume that they have consummated the marriage. So, um, yeah, but that whole workout scene that he did where he was trying to force her to do this and very stern and direct with his words, and the same thing when they rode the horse this week, and she was like, "You about to piss me off." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you need to slow your roll." She already having issues being on a horse. Kind of like how Vincent from Married at First Sight season 12, he did not want to ride that horse with Brianna and he was mad about it. Katina did do it. I will say that about Katina and even Noy, because both of the guys, both Steve and Olajuwon wanted to push their wives out of their comfort zone. And I know a lot of people had an issue with the way Olajuwon did it, but they didn't really have an issue the way that Steve did it. And pretty much Steve said the same thing, hey, I need you to come out of your comfort zone. And, Noy was like, well, I don't know, and I'm scared, and this and that and the third. And, the same thing with Katina, yeah, I want her to be adventurous and things that Olajuwon was saying. And I will say Katina set boundaries. And obviously Olajuwon don't want to be with a woman he can walk over, which he shouldn't want to do that anyway. Let's see what these comments say. I think they have consummated the marriage because she complains about his excessive sweating. Yeah. That's a good point. Two different approaches. Shanice, I love them together, but the workout scene and the horse riding made me want to punch him in the face. I would have been over in the gym. He must be making up for it by balancing it out in the times that we don't see. Right. So there's a lot we don't see. Remember, these guys are in all of these reality shows. They'll tell you they do hours and hours of filming. I don't know if you guys noticed with the dinner before leaving the honeymoon, when they started, it was daytime early and they didn't get through until later in the evening. Could you imagine sitting there at that table for all those hours? But all what we saw was a matter of what, 15 minutes? So there's obviously some things that we're not seeing. Now, I do like the fact that when I will say this, I do like the fact. Oh, hey, Amanda Lola, I would have been. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I didn't want to miss that comment. Um, but I will say that I do like the fact that when Katina set those boundaries, that Elijah wouldn't stop. He don't push and push and push. When she says stop, he stop. And he appreciates boundaries. But don't keep doing that. Don't keep poking the bear just to see how far you can go. And she tells you to stop. She's gonna get tired of you doing that. You know. Manda says, right, he shouldn't want to walk over her like that. Shouldn't even be her job to not let him walk over. Yeah, he shouldn't have to test her over and over again to know how much she can take from him. Even I mean the first go around, which was the whole gym situation, that should have been enough to tell him, okay, she ain't finna let me do this. Why did you have to do that again with the horseback riding? You don't have to keep doing that. So that's the part. Now hopefully he stopped. Now there's this other issue that's coming, this whole cooking thing. And now remember at the wedding when she said, well, I know how to cook, but I don't know how to do all that crazy stuff. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll learn together. I appreciate that. So I was wondering what his response was going to be, because his family, and before they got married, a lot of them were saying, oh, he wants a woman to be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and doing da. But he did say at the wedding, when him and Katina talked about it at the reception, that they can do it together. Now he did bring it up when they looked in the cabinets below the counter, and he said, all these dishes in here, we got it. You going when you going to the stove? Oh my God, that set a lot of the fans off. Shanice says, did anyone else hear when he said, I want to see if she can ride a real horse? Yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, really? I sure did. I heard that. I'm like, okay, so maybe to answer that earlier question, did they consummate that marriage? Maybe so. And like you said at the end of the sentence, so yeah. I think he was trying to throw some hints that yeah, they definitely consummated the marriage. Definitely. But you know what? I think I got hopes for them. It's early. I know how they gave him the villain edit in the beginning. He got to stop poking the bear and testing her boundaries. Stop doing that. How many times that girl got to show you that she's going to put up boundaries? Seriously. Um, I think once he kind of calmed down and chill out and they work together, because I'm curious to see how they're going to be, in the relationship together. Um, if they're going to actually work out. Like I say, I do know the outcome on decision day. I'm not going to spoil that, but um and if you want to know, send me a DM me on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is above, So, yep. We got one other couple, and this is probably going to take us some time. And that's this couple right here. Unless you guys have some more on Ola and Katina. I'm rooting for them, so. Let's see. Somebody just dropped a comment. What does that say? Donnell. Yep, she rolled her eyes when he said it, so thought not at that point at least. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So looky what we got here. Chris and Alyssa. That girl was checked out from day one. Alyssa, this is married at first sight. This is not girls' trip. This is not you needing to enjoy your experience, get a free honeymoon in Puerto Rico, and hang out with your girls. That's not what this is. You signed up to be married at first sight. This ain't vacation. No. And then you want what do you I know you guys got a lot to say about this couple. So I'm waiting for you guys to weigh in on this one because she's now the villain. They started out giving Olajuwon the villain edit. Well, guess what? Alyssa then took that crown and she's on the throne. This girl been checked out from day one. I want to give a side eye to production every time at that wedding where she started talking about somebody with teeth. They put the camera right in that man's mouth. They were wrong for that. Um, the other thing is her listening to his friends. I'm like, who? These guys are your friends? Alyssa low-key kind of like Olajuwon and Steve. She keep giving them the eyes. Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of tea that came out on the after party a couple weeks ago. So you guys remember Alyssa saying that she went to a psychic, and the psychic told her that the person that she's meant to be with has this big tattoo of an eagle, right? Well, if you guys watched the after party, on the after party, Steve was on there, and Steve said that actually Alyssa said it was a tiger that was supposed to be her mystery man and that tattoo. And because Steve has a big tiger tattoo on his body, it caused Noe to freak out. So he said Noe came home all freaked out about it because Alyssa told everybody that her psychic told her that it was actually a tiger tattoo. And knowing that Steve had that Steve had that tiger tattoo, she freaked out that maybe somehow Steve was the one that was supposed to be Alyssa's guy. So I'm wondering maybe Alyssa has seen Steve's tattoo and maybe she's figuring that maybe she can get close to him. Noe better keep an eye on her man. Now I don't think Steve is going to go anywhere. Steve is so into Noe. So I don't doubt him at all. She need to watch Alyssa. So, yep, she need to watch Alyssa. Seriously. Okay, let's look at these comments. Um, if you get two choices among which you have to choose only one, who would you choose? A free trip or 10K? Okay. Um, that's explain what you're talking about, Archie. Or is this something not related to the show? So let me know. And I'm at the bottom. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, Alyssa checked out. Alyssa is living in her own world. I really like to talk to her because I have no idea why she thinks the way she is behaving is okay. Now, you guys, let me let you know this. She was actually in one of the Married at First Sight groups as as a member, and she recently removed herself because of the fact of all of the backlash and the comments and things, but she was blaming a lot on editing and you guys are not seeing the whole story and things like that. The problem with what I could see if there was a bunch of jump cuts in what she was saying or voiceovers where she wasn't on screen and people, cuz production does stuff like that, right? But everything that she's saying, even when she was talking about excuse me, sorry about that, guys, even when she was talking about um the whole situation with how Chris was pointing, he's pointing aggressively. That came out of her mouth. There wasn't any editing. The camera was on her when she was saying those things. The camera was on her when she was talking to production about how much she hate him. So you can only blame so much on editing. It's one thing if you were a quiet person like Henry from season 11. There was definitely a lot of editing in that because if you follow Henry on Instagram, the boy is hilarious. The guy, he's not a boy. The man is hilarious. He's actually in a wonderful relationship with a new woman right now. I always post pictures and stuff about them on my IG account. Again, my IG account is listed there, so if you want to keep up with stuff daily, I post all that stuff over there. That was editing. They edited him into this guy who really don't talk. A lot of people were questioning his sexual preferences and everything. When you see him outside of the show, he's a totally different person. Alyssa, on the other hand, you actually see the words coming out of her mouth. That's the difference. Um, Alyssa feels like my match sucks, so I'm going to ruin it for the other couples. Yep. Chris better make sure that he is never alone with her without the cameras there. I don't trust Alyssa. Yeah, because she could set him up real bad if she realizes that what she's doing isn't working and she decides to create a scenario to make him look like something else. Yeah, that could go real bad for him. She can't blame the edits for what we heard from her. Absolutely right. She can't. Everything that we seen come out of her mouth, it wasn't like her head was turned, the camera was to her back. We saw different moving scenes. No, the camera was in her face when she was saying these things. Even when she had the conversation with the girls. When she had the conversation with um Katina, Yasmina, and Noe, and she was talking about how, I'm not attracted to him and all of that. She put all that out there herself. Um, Manda says, she should have just left instead of trying to stay through the time unless it was part of the contract. Now, yes, they do have a contractual obligation. If they don't finish their contract, there's a $50,000 fine. That's a lot of money. However, you need to figure out a way. Get to know this guy. Get to know him. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, attraction is oh my God. It really can be something that could block. I mean, if you're not attracted to someone, you shouldn't force it, because I mean, you want to, but sometimes attraction can be built. I mean, we've seen situations where people weren't necessarily attracted to someone, but eventually, as they got to know the person, they became more and more attracted to them. So honestly, she didn't give this thing a chance. She saw this guy, she realized that she wasn't attracted to him. And then when she heard from his friends all this garbage, she went way left. She didn't, I mean, she's just looking for things to stick it to Chris. Now, let's talk about Chris a little bit because this whole thing about give me 1% is absolutely ridiculous. Why would you want 1% from her and the other 99% is horrible? 1% is going to give you hope? That I didn't understand. I mean, guys, what do you think about that? And him wanting 1%. If she just give me 1%, I will stick it out with her. The experts, I actually think they gave me the right person. I'm like, how? This woman can't stand to be in your presence. She don't want to be around you. She think you're disgusting. I mean, she criticized your every moves. She can still be cool with him instead of being so cold because she's mad about the match. Yeah, Chris is tripping about the 1%. Absolutely. Even though she don't want to be with him, like you said, Amanda, she can still chill out and be cool with him. Isabella. Hi, Isabella. Alyssa kept saying she could go home, but she chose to stay. I think production offer her out of her contract to leave. I Yeah, that doesn't not your statement, but Alyssa saying that doesn't make sense. Because why would you, if you detest this man, why would you choose to stay with him? I don't know if she's being honest about that. Because even with the situation with Zach and Mindy, even though they didn't stay together, they still had to appear on the show all the way to the end. They had to appear. They didn't live together per se. And even, is it Matt and the other girl? I forgot her name. The tall basketball player, Matt, and his wife, they hit it off, but he kept coming and going. I think he stayed at another place. So I think they still have to shoot and do filming, even though they don't live together, but they have to finish out whatever they need to do for production. Chris is trying to be the good guy, but at this point he deserved what he gets from her. Wow. Yeah, you know what? At some point, if you continue to accept that behavior, then it's on you. It's on you. She's showing you exactly who she is when it comes to you, and you still trying to hang in there. 1%? She's acting like a brat. I mean, just act like he's your coworker. Yeah. Isabella says she's staying for the money. Yeah, because that's the other thing. Besides the $50,000 that you break the contract, the other thing is you get paid. Now, I don't know how much you get paid, but they do get paid for being on camera. Um, Alyssa is messing it up because she wants the apartment for herself instead of just moving in and filming as friends. Yeah. Last season, the redhead and the guy she was disconnected. You talking about Brett and Ryan? Brett and Ryan from season 13, Houston. Yes. She was with disconnected from the jump, but that didn't act like this. Yeah, but we also heard the whole story with Brett. There was this whole thing that she was in a whole nother relationship while she was on the show. So she claimed that wasn't the case. Then she changed the story and said she went on dates. Then she said she got his phone number, So even though he checked out and she tried to accuse him for being on a date nap, she was actually talking to somebody else too. But they still worked it through to the end. They didn't get crazy with each other. Rosemary. Chris is needing validation from being married so that he can feel whole. He just has the right one to fulfill that need. Yep, that's true. I agree with that. I agree with that. He want to be married so bad. And if 1% of a wife can help him with that, he'll take it. And that is so unfortunate. Yeah, Amanda, it was a whole mess. Season 13 and season 12 was the worst seasons of this series. I mean, coming off the whole Zach and Hurricane K, the whole thing with Johnny, Mirla, and this whole thing with Brett and Ryan last season, and then season 12 with Chris and Paige, and you know Clara and Ryan, Virginia and Eric. That were all just mess. It hasn't been that good since season 11 when we got Woody and Amani and Miles and Karen. We had Amelia and Bennett, but they got a divorce last year, so we lost them. Debbie, is it me or do Chris and Alyssa look alike? You think so? I mean, they both got dark hair. I mean, honestly, they would be a decent looking couple if they were to work out. It's just Alyssa is just. And then you know what? The signs were there. She was antisocial at the bachelorette party. And then what's with the 10 wedding dresses? Why did you need to buy 10 wedding dresses? Remember that? That was crazy. Crazy. Honestly, production need to let this girl go. Now, here's another situation that really side eye what gave me the reason to side eye production. When they were sitting separately after the couple's dinner the night before leaving the honeymoon, production told Chris, "Why won't you give her some more time?" I'm like, "Are you serious? Why would you ask that man to give her some more time to figure this out?" She didn't already presented that she don't want this man. She didn't want him the night of the wedding. She didn't want him over the honeymoon. She don't want him on the way back from the honeymoon. So production, why would you want Chris to give that girl more time? Well, what this tells me is that you wanted Chris to give her more time so you can get more time, airtime to put this nonsense with Alyssa on TV. Yeah, yeah, the 10 dresses, Amanda. It was crazy. Why would you need 10 dresses? 10. My question is, I think she even ended up with the dress from the show. So did you even wear one of the 10? So dress number 11 was your pick? That was crazy. Production wants them to move in and together and fight. Absolutely. That's exactly. And I'm like, why would you want to keep this man in this toxic mess? Let that man go. Let her get off this show. Get her off the show. I didn't understand production asking Chris that. I also think the experts should have intervened by now, a Zoom call or something. Yeah, all we got, Manda, was Pastor Cal clip saying, "Well, we're monitoring the Alyssa situation closely." Monitoring doesn't work. You need to intervene. Just like the commitment ceremony that's happening on the Australia side in tomorrow's episode, where Celine is about to get checked. That's what they need to do with Alyssa, like now. We don't need to wait to episode 10 for the experts to do their visits to get with Alyssa and Chris. When Alyssa gets back to the apartment in Boston, they need to be talking to this girl. Production shouldn't be telling her, oh, just wait it out. Telling Chris, just wait it out. That's ridiculous. The Pastor Cal clip, Debbie says, was inserted as an afterthought. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We got other comments. She borrowed those extra wedding dresses from friends for drama. It's J Dub. Hey, it's J Dub. What's going on? Alyssa will be very moved with Chris, but he should never go off camera with her. Yeah, he definitely shouldn't be off camera with her. This season is looking like last season with all of this extra drama. Absolutely. Even though I think season 12 and 13 is the worst because it was multiple couples having problems. Right now, even though the Ola and Katina thing with pushing the boundaries is one thing, Steve with the whole job scenario, and the other situation with Michael and Jasmina with Michael communication, and then Lindsay and Mark, and Lindsay with her wilding out. I don't know. Is it rising to the level of season 12 and 13? Because 12 was off the charts with Chris and Paige. They rode the Chris and Paige drama scenario for 5.5 months. That season started January of 2021 and did not end until May of 2021. That was the longest season ever. Usually it's 8 weeks, I think, but the season usually ends at about 3.5, 4 months. Season 12 went from January 6th or 3rd or 6th all the way up to the middle of May. They rode that Chris and Paige drama so much. They made a ton of money off of that season. And it's so unfortunate because that whole situation was toxic. Um, so hopefully we don't get that with this Alyssa situation. I've been hearing rumors, I don't know if it's true, that they won't be on air for much longer, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if that's actually true. So I don't want to put that out there and you guys expect her to leave in a couple episodes, then y'all be mad at me. So that's what I heard. It's a rumor, but I don't know if it's factual. But she need to go. I mean, and Chris need to set boundaries. And did you guys hear what he said at the couples dinner? He was like, when she said, "Oh, well, maybe you can move in part-time and I'll move in the other part-time." And he was like, no, we're not sharing these couples like divorced parents. I mean, she's looking at them as if I'm like, these couples have to already work on their own marriages. They're not here to have fun and play around with you. It was ridiculous. I'm glad he said that. But then, production was like, "Oh, give her some more time. Just give her some more time." And I'm like, "Come on, production, really? Why would you want to take this man through this?" And he got the patience. The guy is patient. I got to give it to him. The guy is patient as all get out because he's been calm. He really hasn't gotten like loud or all you see is him being extremely disappointed, and he's very soft spoken. Manda says, I was like, yes, Chris, that needed to be said. Yeah, he needed to say that. How you going to try to split time in the apartment just so you can hang out with these other couples? These other couples got their own relationships to build. Debbie says it would be refreshing if the expert stepped in and removed this couple early. Like Chris said, Alyssa is here for the experience and not the process. Absolutely. Absolutely, Debbie. This is exactly what this is. She's not here for the right reasons. And then when um Chris said that to production, I don't think she's here for the right reasons, she lost it. See, that's not fair. And then did you guys see what she did? Because he point blank asked her, what did I do to make you feel this way? And she couldn't answer it. She could not answer it. And then she was like, "Well, um, I don't want to talk about this right now." And she got up and she wanted to leave. Every time they corner her and hold her to task, she never wants to answer the question. He always want to ask, "What are we doing with this relationship?" She don't want to answer. Um, I wonder, hey Rosemary, I wonder if the participants that endure the abrasive behavior of their unlikely counterparts get therapy. From what I understand, I think they get some therapy if they want it from the experts. But yeah. So they need it. All of them every season. They need it. So I've heard that a lot of these cast members do go get therapy on their own after the season because it's just too much. Besides what you go through with filming, you also got to deal with the fan base. And if you're a villain, if you get the villain at it, yeah, you're going to need therapy to deal with that. So, what else you guys got with regards to Miss Alyssa? Anything else on Chris? Let's see. Manda says, I would have loved if they have called whoever was their second choice for Chris and got him remarried real quick before they even signed the license. Yeah, that would have been great. I wouldn't take therapy from these experts. Yeah, I a lot of them go outside and get therapy, Debbie. They don't deal with cuz Dr. Pepper is a sociologist. Dr. Viviana is a sex therapist, and of course Pastor Cal is a pastor. So I don't it would probably be better to go outside and get your own therapy. Your own therapy. Um But yeah, she needs to go. She needs to go. She don't want to be here. She's not here for the right reasons. She's here for these girls, except Lindsay, because she can't stand Lindsay. And Lindsay can't stand her either. There was something that came out on the after party that Chris had said how she did not, even before the actual ceremonies filmed, they asked her to the officiant asked her to say I do. She didn't want to say I do. She immediately got on the phone with her lawyers to um, see how she can get out of this whole situation. You guys got to watch that after party. I know it comes on late. It usually comes on about 10 o'clock my time. I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone. So if you're on the East Coast, it's coming out at 11. But you got to check out the after party because they drop everything we don't see and we don't know, and they don't hold the cast members back from telling like they did on Unfiltered. Yeah, Alyssa is crazy. Hi Claudette, welcome. Yeah, crazy. So we'll have to see what they're going to do if they're going to send her packing because they need to send her packing. That girl lost her mind. And he's crazy for staying in it, even for the 1%. Yep. So Guys, this live has been awesome. Thank you guys for participating. I really, really enjoyed everything from the stuff we covered with Australia and with the US. Australia next episode will be tomorrow. They are 16 hours ahead. So I do the recaps of Married at First Sight Australia on this channel. Also, we did see the previews for Married at First Sight Boston with everybody moving into their new apartments. So we get to see that back to reality for most of these couples. Yes, man, I absolutely love the after party. I usually, yeah, I have mine on DVR as well. So I record and I watch it the next morning too, because it's late. I mean, it's one thing you watch 2 hours of Married at First Sight, and then you gotta wait an hour before the after party come on. They should put the after party on before or right after, because before they used to have Unfiltered come on a half hour before the show start. But now, they I don't understand why they wait an hour to show the after party. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, people, and that's a Wednesday night. People kind of go to work on Thursday morning. It's crazy. But the after party has the T. Keisha Knight Pulliam, little Rudy from the Cosby Show back in the day. She's all grown up and she's hosting the show. She does an excellent job interrogating and getting to the bottom of some of this stuff. So, oh, thank you for the hearts. And you guys, if you want to support the channel, my Cash App is listed up there below, Ellie Bayer 24. Also, as well, again, follow me on my IG. I'm always posting daily throughout the day. And I even pull up old things that I find on, some of these cast members. I do a lot of different recaps. So I do Ready to Love. I'm going to do Love is Blind season 2. Stay tuned for that. I do the Love Islands as well, Australia and the US. And I also do Put a Ring on It, but they haven't started a new season for that. And of course I do the two Married at First Sight. So thank you guys so much. So we're going to end it here. We actually started the show 3 hours ago, and then we had an interruption in regards to technology, right? We were right smack dab in the middle of Michael and Jasmina and got cut off. Yep. So if you want to go, both videos will be uploaded. If you guys missed the first half, you can always watch the replay and listen to us chat about Married at First Sight Australia and part of US. And then for those that may have seen the first half but didn't catch up to this segment, you can always replay this as well. So you guys, oh yes, yes, yes. Love is Blind started yesterday. And I watched it for the first time today. My daughter was like, because my daughter lives in a different state, and she was like, Mom, did you watch Love is Blind? It is awesome. And guys, with Love is Blind, the first 5 episodes are up. So you can binge watch the first 5 episodes, and then episodes 6 through 9 or 6 through 10 is going to come out on February 18th. So I'm going to do that as well. Just to give you a heads up, there is a proposal in episode 1 of Love is Blind. So it's really good. Some people say they didn't like it. I'm actually enjoying it. So, Manda, yes, it is. Oh my gosh. And I'm glad you enjoyed the chat. I'm going to let me know if you want me to do this again. If you really enjoy it, I would love to do this with you again, and hopefully next time we don't have any technical problems. So, thank you so much for the blessings. Yes, and thank you guys who have supported me on this journey. I've been doing this since August of 2020. So I know I have some long time OG subscribers here. I appreciate all of you, old and new. and stay tuned for more of my content. And you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to end it. You guys have a great night.